Hey guys, my name is Big Tino and welcome back to From the Depths, and welcome to a Lightning Hood's attack on us now. We've got a Crossbolt, an Ohm, and a Sea Raptor. And what we've got here is just the Cornigon. I've got the Planetar here and a couple of Pack Mules. I'm not going to bring any of them in. I'm just going to use the Cornigon and see how it does by itself. I do want to see more of how this thing does against lasers, whether or not I need to strengthen its laser defenses, or if they're fine, or if its smoke is going to get in the way of its weapons, and things like that. So let's teleport onto the ship and begin the battle. Now, my goal for today is to dive a bit deeper into the Lightning Hood's territory. I would like to get at least one more resource deposit from them. Combat would be nice. To hopefully slow down these attacks, because these attacks are coming rather quickly. And so if I can get in there, take some of their territory, then I will be very happy. Let's see. Alright, we are taking some damage on our armor. I think what I may do is strengthen my laser shields just a bit. Because I know, well, it does look like it's working pretty well, but I also don't think those are particularly strong lasers. So I think what I might do is go in and weaken some of the interior shielding and strengthen this exterior shielding that becomes anti-laser shields if, you know, we're targeted by a laser. So I think I may do that, but actually looking at it, we're holding off pretty well. Anyway, let's see how we're doing against the enemy. I don't even know what half these things are. This guy looks familiar. That's the Crossbolt, although he's already, you know, pretty well destroyed. That's a cool ship. Is this the Sea Raptor? That's what it looks like, a Sea Raptor to me. Yeah, that's the Sea Raptor. That's pretty cool. I like their I like the Lightning Hood skimmers. I feel like they do a good job with that, whereas I have simply brute forced it. And then this must be the Ohm. That's adorable. It's just a little thing. And ooh, it's a proper thruster craft. Those are ion thrusters on the bottom that are keeping it aloft. All right, let's see how we do. Yeah, those little explosions are worrisome. Although again, looking at it, we're not taking that much damage. But it is getting through. So I'll play around with it, and if I can strengthen that laser shielding, then I will, because obviously that's going to be my a very good investment when fighting the Lightning Hoods, is just better anti-laser defenses, especially if I can avoid using too much smoke defense. I've got some interior smoke defense, which hopefully, if you know, if the compartment isn't breached, then I don't think smoke is going to escape and actually impede our own laser weapon. But we'll see. If I need to add some strategically placed smoke boxes around this thing, I will. And our laser is just chopping through these guys. That is the thing about laser ships. It's a lot harder to protect against lasers when you yourself are using lasers, because smoke is easily the best defense against lasers, and it affects your own lasers as well. So I'm finding, at least in my limited experience so far, that these Lightning Hood ships are not particularly well protected against lasers. And you are underwater now, so I believe you will soon be getting torped. I'm sure I've got some torpedoes out somewhere. Oh no, you're gonna find the one piece of land, aren't you? Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna take manual control here. Take a hard turn. Between this episode and the last, I did actually add a little bit of internal turning. As I die, of course, it has to happen at least once. And so you can see there that the turning was a lot sharper. I may do more still, but that's the thing about this game. As you use a ship in combat, you're just able to constantly improve upon it. You're constantly able to see what you've done wrong and what you could do better. Things like that. And yeah, our health is still fine. And it looks like we are still just sort of chopping away at the enemy. Our lasers have sort of disemboweled this ship, I think. Again, they do a very good job of just getting through the armor and destroying things on the outside. And, of course, here comes some missiles. Looks like it does have a little bit of anti-missile defense, but not enough. Is this thing dead? Not quite. But the Kornigan has decided to target the Ohm anyway. I assume Ohm refers to the unit of measurement for energy and not for, like, monk chants. But maybe it's both. Maybe it's both. Porque no los dos. It is an adorable little thing. I love how the lasers in this game, and especially when in the Lightning Hood's design, really just look like something Marvin the Martian would use. A little ridiculous, a little comical. I don't think I personally like the aesthetic of the lasers themselves, like the laser housings, like these little discs here. I understand why they did it that way, because that's kind of what makes sense for an actual laser. Just lots and lots of, you know, optics and things like that. But I think, you know, I'd like some sort of housing on it, where this is just a little too Ray punk for me, I guess. I don't know. I shouldn't complain too much. We are very far away. Okay, we have turned around and are coming back. That's probably from me taking manual control and the AI not really sure what to do about that. And I think it's just the Ohm left. Yeah, it looks like it's just the Ohm left. And it's on its way out. How are we doing? We're okay on ammo. Used a good bit of fuel there. I did find that I actually had to upgrade the pack mules. And I vastly increased their fuel storage. So now 2 of them are able to pretty reliably keep this thing stocked full of fuel. Of course, they have to be in the battle for, you know, to actually stock me up. So either I bring them into combat or I refuel between battles. So, you know, we'll see. And a nice missile finish there as the Ohm goes down. All right. Let's see what trouble we can get into next. All right, we're back, and this is a Strength 200 defense fleet here. So we've got a Scorpion, Hydrovolt, Tachyon, Megawatt, Dagger, Hydrovolt, and Hypatos. All right, so that's a whole lot of stuff there. And I'm going to bring the Planetar in for this. Put it way in the back. And what I am going to do is I am going to keep the battle slider, the battle size, down a bit, just because well, we're going to get some lag with this many ships, this many big ships, because these are big ships. And yeah, it looks like we are actually, we're probably a bit even, just because we have both the Planetar and the Kornigan in terms of cost. Now, in terms of volume, they really have us beat here. But in terms of cost, we are just about even, it looks like, if my quick and dirty math is correct. So let's see how we do. I did go into the creative mode, and I played around with the Kornigan. I strengthened its laser shields, so they are a bit better now. Hopefully that will be enough. Yep, there's all those flyers. Let's actually have the Kornigan focus on one thing at a time. Let's take out the Scorpion. And actually, I do want to see what these things are. Yeah, no, that looks like a Scorpion. That's pretty Scorpion-y. That's actually a good idea for a laser weapon, to have something like a Scorpion tail that rotates around like that. Looks like our laser is doing some pretty good damage, biting in there. We see some little explosions. Their engine and laser system is already exposed there. So hopefully we can beat this thing without too much trouble. The Kornigan down to 98% already, but that is a lot of firepower coming our way. And our laser's not firing. Now that's interesting. Why is our laser not firing? Due to fail-safe. There we go. Now we're shooting. Okay. Looks like something is exploding somewhere, and I hope it's not on us. I think it's on us. Okay, I think we lost one of our ammo stores. There are several ammo stores scattered across this thing, and obviously because its main weapon is a laser, losing its ammo stores is not the end of the world. How's the enemy Scorpion doing? 97. Ooh, that thing's tough. Of course, we are, again, pretty outnumbered here. And actually, how about Mr. Dagger?
Engaging now.
Die. Because this should be a pretty quick kill on this thing. It's a cool looking ship though. It's got a very Starfighter look to it. Something out of either Star Fox or Cowboy Bebop, or potentially both. And yeah, it looks like we took that thing down fairly quickly. Alright, now that's out of the way. Now I know from experience that I'm not going to be able to beat the Hypnotos quickly. So let's go back to shooting at that Scorpion, because it does look like it's doing some pretty good damage to me. Although it doesn't look like it's been able to actually damage my thrusters, which is good, although something's blowing up back here. That might be another ammo store. Yeah, those laser weapons are great at just sort of honing in on ammo stores. We're down to 91%. This might be bad for us. And it could be, yeah, we have lost a good bit of engine power, and so it's likely that our laser's not going to fire at full strength, and it's not going to be able to fire all the time, which is rough. So hopefully we can still pull a win out of this, but we might lose it. We might, which wouldn't be the end of the world. But it would be more of a shame just because it would show that the Kornigan is not up to snuff, and I'd have to go in and do a lot more work. It looks like they're using the same strategy that I'm using, and using custom jets for both turning and propulsion. So yeah, we're doing pretty much the same thing. I suppose this would sort of be my Lightning Hood's counterpart. I do really like how the Lightning Hoods do their water skimmers. Couldn't think of the name there for a second, because it's a very elegant solution to have these sort of legs, or skis. Skis is probably a better term for it, that go into the water and have the hydrofoils on them, rather than just sort of having the entire bottom of the ship covered in them. And yeah, I love the laser on this thing, but my only qualm with it is that while it takes a lot to bring down the Kornigan, it doesn't take all that much damage to the engine power to shut down its laser. And lasers... Okay, well this is a problem here that I need to fix quickly. I did not set a firing arc for the Hesh Cannon, and the Hesh Cannon could be doing a lot of work here, but it's stuck trying to look back. So let me fix that real quick. But yeah, a laser is just, it's not as reliable a weapon as an advanced cannon is. Even though you can make them very, very powerful, you know. Let's see. Do we not... They might have changed this somehow. Huh. Oh, here it is. Derp. Sorry, I know I hate doing these little inner workings gubbins things on camera, but this is a fairly important one. So, let's see. How about we go about 120 degrees on both sides? That's probably going to make sure it doesn't get stuck. There. Okay. Yeah, I am definitely a sucker for big advanced cannons, as I've said several times. And that's not just because they are giant, lovely, satisfying explosions. It's also because they are more reliable weapons. Because it's so easy to shut down a laser if there's any power issue at all. Now, what would be ideal for a laser ship is to have something that essentially has no shields, no propulsion, no anything except for the laser and lots of engine power, because then it doesn't have to worry about it. So you could do something like an old school blimp, right? And the blimp has a whole bunch of rotor blades on the inside to keep it aloft that don't use a ton of fuel or a ton of engine power, and then you don't have to worry about defenses or anything like that. Maybe keep it at the very back of the fight so that it's just an almost fixed emplacement weapon, which would be pretty cool. And once again, I'm getting blown up. It looks like we have sort of stabilized at maybe 93% health, which is good. And it looks like we are doing some bad damage to the Scorpion there. They're down to 84%. And, yeah, I'll just stand on top of the Kornigan. This is how I learned to stop fearing and love the laser. And our Hesh gun looks like it was doing a pretty good job there. It might have just lost maybe AI control or something like that because it shut off, or it's because it's out of our, yeah, it was just out of the new Arc of Fire. I think 120 was a little limiting. I think it does have the turning ability to go a little farther than that, but you know, there's not a ton of time to adjust these things mid-combat. But it looks like the Scorpion is down for the count. So I'm going to have the Kornigan here focus on the... Wow, the Hypatos is all the way over there. Have we damaged turning thrusters? Nope, our turning thrusters are good. We just weren't turning. Now, I am worried because there are a lot of other ships besides this one. There's another Hydrovolt, 2 more Hydrovolts, and a Megawatt, and a Tachyon, whatever those are. Although it looks like their most expensive ships are already in play. And of course, we don't have our Planetar in yet. And, okay, I realized that I haven't actually looked for the Hydrowatt, and I'm guessing it's a submarine? It is way out here. Alright, submarines. Hard to find. There we go. Okay, that's a really cool submarine, and I love how they did the propulsion here with the giant turbine. That's a cool way to do it. I like that quite a lot. And, of course, I love some good steam piping used as decoration. That's really cool. Looks like their main weapon's a particle cannon. Oh, that's cool. I have actually built in the past a particle sub similar to this, although not as cool looking, obviously. I don't feel like I'm a particularly skilled builder, but you know, I love the idea of a particle cannon submarine, but I think we're a little far away for it to be super effective. Still, though, that's going to be a bit of a pain to beat, just because since we're not in the water, we don't have sonar. Now, we do have torpedoes, and our torpedoes have sonar. And so as soon as they're launched, they'll be able to track the enemy. But, you know, we won't be able to track the enemy ourselves. It looks like something else has exploded on the ship. Yeah, it looks like we lost an ammo cache there. We've lost several ammo caches. I'm guessing that several of them have been repaired and blown up again, because we're not really taking more damage. And the Hesh cannon picking on the Scorpion some more. Looks like it is pretty much down for the count. Now the Hypatos, maybe? It's probably Greek. I'm not sure exactly what it means. Hypatos, I'm probably saying that wrong. Still in the air, still at pretty high health, but we know that we can beat that thing. It just takes us a while. And it doesn't help that we are so low on power that our laser is taking a long time to charge up and fire. Now, hopefully, when it gets to our front-facing arc, our Hesh cannon can turn and fire at it as well. And let's see how we're doing. Yeah, they've taken out so many of our ammo stores that it looks like we're down to just one ammo store left, because that's about 37,000 ammo in each store. So our missiles are having a tough time firing. Not that our missiles are doing a whole lot, because pretty much all of these guys have a ton of anti-missile defense systems. Now let's see if we're able to hit this thing with the Hesh cannon. I did do a little bit of tweaking. Yep, looks like we are giving them some good hits there with our Hesh cannon. I did do a little bit of tweaking on the detection system. That shot was wide. So hopefully we are able to do a little better against it, although it looks like we're still just winging it a bit. And that laser they have on the Hippotos is very strong. It's you can see just the confetti rolling off of our ship here. It looks like we're out of range. We're out of effective range of the submarine's particle cannon, but the Hippotos's laser is devastating us. And it looks like we have one section of our ship here which has lost the physical shield block, and so it's not able to protect itself. And so we do have some exposed engine parts there. Now, this ship does have several... It has, I think, 10 smaller engines scattered throughout the sides of the ship, and then 3 very large engines on the inside. And so, you know, things like this, where we lose 1 or 2 of the small engines on the outside, is, you know, that's to be expected. That's not terrible. But it does mean if we lose enough of them that the laser's just going to shut down. Which is a real shame, because that's gonna slow this combat down a good bit. And yeah, the Hypnos is down to 96%. I'm not entirely sure what we're hitting it with at this point. I think the laser is firing every now and then, just as soon as it has the power to do so. We're also getting pretty low on fuel, which means before too much longer, we might just have to pull this thing out of the fight and bring the Planetar in. We're also almost out of resources for repairing, which means I've used something like 80,000 resources repairing this ship so far, which tells you just how much damage we have sustained. Now, unfortunately, the Planetar is not going to be great at fighting the Hippotos, but hopefully in the opening salvo, when they're very, very far apart, will be a bit better. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the Kornigan out of this fight. I've seen several things that I just really need to do better with the Kornigan in terms of optimizing it. The Hesh cannon is getting some good hits there, though, so maybe I'll wait until the Hesh cannon has done its thing. I think, honestly, what I may need to do, and I've been trying to avoid doing this, but I'll probably need to do it, is weaken the laser just a bit. You know, reduce the amount of power it takes to fire the thing, because if we're going to take damage in combat, we're going to have less engine power, and that's going to make it hard for us to sustain firing the laser, which is really problematic, because this Hesh cannon is a good gun, but it's not a great gun, and it's certainly not able to beat the Hippotos all by itself. Especially now that we are out of resources for repairing. Now, the Planetar won't be able to do too much to the submarine, although it does have torpedoes, so maybe it will. But it won't be able to detect the submarine. Alright, I think you've done well, Kornigan. I think it's time for the Planetar to pick it up. I really just need to optimize that thing, the Kornigan. It's just... I'm not satisfied with it, I'll say. It's not the best ship I've ever built, and certainly for its cost, I'm not thrilled. Okay, lots of lasers going on here, and unfortunately I will have no resources with which to repair. So we might just be losing this fight. And let's see. Yeah, we're not taking a ton of damage. This thing is full and covered with smoke. Full of and covered with smoke. But it's just, these are the perfect ships to fight the Planetar. These fast flyers that can get around its main guns. Yeah, they're just gonna tear this thing apart. I'd like to get some of my resources back if I can from these two ships, because this was a pretty big investment. And, you know, you don't lose all your resources when you lose fights. But you do lose a good bit. And yeah, the Planetar is going down. This is not a good ship to bring against the Lightning Hoods. You know, I'm finding, unfortunately, that I'm sort of building the wrong ship at the wrong time. Because the Kornugon, strangely enough, its biggest weakness is lasers. It was wrecking the White Flares, but its biggest weakness is lasers. And of course now we're fighting the most laser heavy faction of the game. So I think what I'll do is possibly... I definitely need a new ship to fight the Lightning Hoods. I know that. I think I might build a new airship, but something that's not sort of an artillery ship like the Planetary is, something that's a proper air battleship that can actually, you know, spin around and has turrets and can fight these things, these laser enemies here. Because what we have right now is just, it's not suited for the enemies that we're facing. And I did the exact same thing with the Crag Lenorm, which would have been a phenomenal ship to fight against the Onyx Watch, for example, with its giant guns and big heavy armor and everything. But the White Flares were fast and melee, and they just wrecked it. And so what I'm seeing is that I need to get a ship dedicated to fighting these Lightning Hoods, to fighting these fast moving laser ships. And with that, as I go down with my ship, I'm going to go ahead and call the episode. So thank you all so much for watching. Thankfully, with this game, you know, losing is kind of fun, because this game is all about optimization. It's all about making sure that your ships do what you need them to do, and seeing that they don't just sort of presents a new challenge. And so my challenge now will be to build a ship that is suited to fighting these guys. And it might be that the Kornugon will be great at fighting the next faction, the Grey Talons. I just don't know. But anyway, with all that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video, which might be a build. It might be. I'm not sure. Anyway, I'll see you then.